Mm. All right, I think we're ready. Hey, Tara, I made you a co-host for me just in case. We've got some other people that come in. I know Alice looks like she's trying to connect, but it won't connect. And so we're gonna go ahead and get started. And you'll let people in as they come in. Like I said, I did log on to YouTube, so someone may be watching it on YouTube. But I am Nina Moore, and I am so excited to be here with you all on Mondays. We know that all roads lead to book club. And if this is your first time here, let me know in the comments by putting a 1 in the comments. If you're here all the time, go ahead and hit that 2 to let us know that, hey, book club is where you're at. You would not miss it for the world. Book club, excuse me, is so important. And it is so important because number one, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Right. And these are not in any order of importance. But you also, leaders need to know that leaders are readers and that we're never ever going to earn more than we learn. So, right around the time that COVID hit, God put it on my heart to have book clubs so that we could read and reign together because there are a lot of people who um, don't really enjoy reading or they start a book but they don't finish, right? And so I have a gift, and the gift that I have is to help you to get into the mind of the author. And generally, the books that the Lord gives us to go over are typically like right on point. And I believe that we are right here, right on point with where we are right now with Think Your Way to Wealth by Napoleon Hill. Well, actually, it's a publication of the Napoleon Hill Foundation based upon a conversation or trainings between Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. All right, so we are now starting chapter 3 in Think Your Way to Wealth. And what I really love about the book club format that we have is most people do buy the books, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary because I am going to read the book to you and for you. All right, so I want you to know it's not necessary that you purchase the book unless you just want to have a hard copy. But we're reading chapter 3 now. We've already done the introduction to the book. We've already done chapter 1 and chapter 2. I can't believe we're already in chapter 3 already. Can y'all believe it? So chapter 3 is an attractive personality. That is what chapter 3 is, an attractive personality. And again, I said if you're always here, put a 2 in the comments. If it's your first time, put a 1 in the comments so that we know that you're brand new and we can love on you. And so let's go ahead and read. We want to go ahead and get this in the way so that I'll have a little bit of a break right before my next time that I've got to speak this evening. And we're going to have a mindset call, not on this line, but I am doing a mindset call. It is in my stories on Facebook and on Instagram, the number that you can type in. I'm doing a mindset call at 6:30. So if you want to jump on that mindset call, feel free. You'll say, my God, this Monday, really, really, because I know a lot of people were already with me on the Scale Her Summit all day today. It has been an incredible, incredible day. And so we're going to start off with Napoleon Hill asking Mr. Carnegie, or speaking with Mr. Carnegie. We've arrived at the third of the 17 success principles and what you have termed as an attractive personality. I know that you've identified over 20 distinct traits that contribute to a pleasing personality. Will you please describe these attributes, noting which ones are most important for an individual's success? Now, let me tell you what is a terrible thing that sometimes I'm finding people have to say when they're describing other people. They'll say, oh, you know what? You just got to know him. You just got to know her. She's nicer than she looks. Yikes. You just got to get to know them. Well, no, we shouldn't have to do that because one of the 17 success principles are to have an attractive personality. So Carnegie says, listen to this. Not only will I describe all of them, all 20 attributes of an attractive personality, he says, but I will also give you a simple formula for developing and maintaining every single trait but one. Merely understanding them will do you no good. The traits must be appropriated and lived out. So, will you all agree that oftentimes we're told what we should do, but we're often not told how to do it? It's like, well, you should do this. but people don't tell you the how. So this is going to tell us the how to do it as well. So he says, let's begin with the most important personality trait, which is a positive mental attitude. A person's mental attitude influences, right? Influences their tone of voice, their facial expressions, their posture. I'm going to also make you a co-host, Nichelle, as well. All right. So listen to that. Wait a minute. I got to go back because this is kind of powerful. Not kind of, this is powerful. He says, a positive mental attitude, a person's mental attitude influences their tone of voice, their facial expressions, their posture, their word choice, and the way they process emotions. So if you don't have a positive mental attitude, even the tone, your facial expressions. Have y'all ever met some people? And I mean, I know some people that I'm like, I know them and I know they're not mean, but they just always look mean. Ruh-roh. They always look like they not a nice person. They don't have a positive mental attitude, so it doesn't come off in the way that they look when you meet them. Well, this says listen to this. It colors every thought and changes the atmosphere, affecting the way those in their presence think or feel. So if you don't have a positive mental attitude, it changes your tone, the tone of your voice, your facial expression, your posture, and your word choice, and the way that you process emotions. But guess what this says, Mary Fitzgerald? It also changes the way other people in your presence think and feel. So imagine that we can control the way other people in our presence think or feel based on how our tone, our positive mental attitude is, which then determines our tone of voice, facial expression, posture, and our word choice and the way we process emotion. Do we see how important our attitude is? And I mean, that's the third paragraph of the first page. We're on the first page of the third chapter. Tara is like, oh my God, here we go. I mean, this book has just been like a dual kick, jab, jab, uppercut, uppercut, jab, jab. This is the third paragraph of the first page. Consider the impact of a bad mental attitude. It not only dampens one's mood, it also diminishes one's enthusiasm, initiative, self control, imagination, agreeability, tolerance, and reasoning abilities. A doctor with a bad mental attitude will cause his patients more harm than good, even if he offers them appropriate treatments. Is that crazy or no? That a doctor can offer you a treatment but have a bad mental attitude and it will do you no good. The treatment that he offers you will do you no good. That's crazy. This says a lawyer with a negative mental attitude will prejudice the court against her, even if she has the more compelling case. You notice, I don't know if you guys notice it, but oftentimes when we're watching TV or things like that, and you see when someone is going to get a lawyer and they'll ask the lawyer, well, do you believe I'm guilty? Y'all notice that? Because if you think I'm guilty and you're supposed to be my lawyer, if you think I'm guilty, I don't have a chance. And I watched this series called Lincoln Lawyer. I'm very intrigued by the way lawyers think. And I watched this series and I only watch it at night. Have I have to complete my business goals in order for me to grace myself with permission to like watch what I want to watch. Does that make sense? Like that's just a Nina thing. That's just a Nina thing. And so like today, I've done over $500 in retail. My goal was $500. So because I went over $500 now, if I want to now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna be exhausted by the end of the day, right? But if I want to tonight, I'm like, oh, okay, I can watch an episode or so of this Lincoln Lawyer. And the guy asked the lawyer, well, do you think I'm guilty? And the lawyer said, well, it doesn't matter what I think. He said, it absolutely matters what you think. Why would a person think it doesn't matter what the lawyer thinks? So then, as this whole thing began to play out as to whether he was guilty or not, like whether he really did you kill your wife and her lover? Did you kill them? The lawyer realizes he's not guilty. He didn't do it. And automatically, Mary Fitzgerald, it changed the way he wanted to represent him. The mental attitude that he had to have, right? Hold on one second, y'all. Somebody's actually texting my phone. Let me just let them know they didn't know we were doing book club. All right. So he says, there is a salesperson. Now we already know a salesperson with a bad mental attitude will lose clients and make enemies and would be better off staying home. How many times have we been somewhere and we've been like, you're the one working? Because the salesperson just had such a bad demeanor, like they didn't want to service you. And we often will say they should have just stayed home if they want to work. I know I've said it. They should have just stayed home. There is no shortage to the damage that can be done with a negative mindset. One's mental attitude is intricately intertwined with every single personality trait that we will analyze, a fact that is very significant. So then Napoleon Hill says, well, how can a person develop a positive mental attitude? And Carnegie says, the simplest answer is that a positive mental attitude can be developed by understanding and applying all the other factors of an attractive personality. So that means we've got to study to show thyself approved or workman. That's basically what it means, that we've got to study. Well, what does it mean to have an attractive personality? He says, okay, then I will listen for clues on how to develop these traits. What is the second characteristic of an attractive personality? Carnegie says, y'all are ready? Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? The answer is flexibility. Woo, woo, woo. You know, it's a lot of people, Tara, when you approach them with something and they start with the, oh, oh, we gotta change it. Oh, we gotta, oh my God. Like, don't say you're gonna, like, I know that there are people that are tripping right now that I should switch from 6 to 5. Here's the deal. I changed it because I needed to in order to not have to cancel, but it's on YouTube. So it doesn't matter that I changed it. They can always still go listen to it at 6 o'clock if they want to. But I already know that there are so many people who are non-flexible. And we don't even understand that one of the major success principles are that we should be able to pivot. And we got to be able to pivot easily. This says flexibility, by which I mean the ability to adapt oneself to changing circumstances and emergencies without losing one's cool. Let me tell y'all something. Today, while I was hosting, one of our main speakers had an emergency and couldn't get on. The people would never even be known it. I never said, oh my God, we've got an emergency and we got to switch gears and oh, we got to bring in another speaker. And nobody even knew. Nobody even knew. And I was prepared to, if I needed to pull up a lesson and teach, I would have. But nobody knew, Mary, that there was even two people that didn't show up. We ended up putting in two people. We ended up interjecting two changes and no one even knew it. No one even knew it. Because you don't have to make a spectacle of something. Because here's the thing, had I made it known, and even while one of the speakers was speaking, she then said, well, I wasn't supposed to speak today. I wish she hadn't done that. Because what happens is when you say things like, well, I mean, this person, we had a speaker that did, but what happens is the people that are listening start to believe that this person is really not as qualified as the other person that was supposed to speak. They just filled it in. You see what I'm saying? It all shifts the person's perception, the receiver's perception of now the person that's speaking. But the young lady that we interjected, the 14-year-old entrepreneur who's already made six figures on TikTok selling, was actually really good. She had slides and everything, Mary. She was really good. 14 years old. And she was able to come in. Now, as she grows in her speaking skills, will she slow down and learn? Yeah. So she was probably a little nervous. But Nichelle, she was amazing, wasn't she? I mean, amazing. So, all of it in leadership. I hope everybody's listening. In leadership, you have to understand that people will adapt the way you adapt. So, if you fall apart as a leader, your team falls apart. But if you go with the flow, if you just go with the flow and you pivot, everyone will pivot because they trust your leadership. Because they trust your leadership. Okay? So he says, so then it says, if you cannot adapt yourself to ever changing conditions of life and human relationships, some individuals wrongly blame their misfortune on others. All right, Zara. All right. When the truth is that every person is where they are and what they are because of their own mental attitude as expressed through their personality. Oh my goodness. Let me read that one more time. The truth is that every person is where they are and what they are because of their own mental attitude as expressed through their personality. Yikes, 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 and more yikes. It is not the neighborhood I grew up in. It is not my mom or dad. It is not blah, 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 blah. Every person is where they are and what they are because of their own mental attitude as expressed through their personality. Napoleon Hill says, that is an incredible statement because it rules out the luck and pull that most people bemoan when complaining about their status in life. Oh, she just lucky. Oh, he just lucky. You know, what most people are seeing happening even in my own life right now, they're seeing the work that I've done for the last 17 years of my life, the last 20 years of my life. Well, you're not seeing something that just happened over the last year or the last 2 years. You're seeing the fruits of my labor in totality. It just so happens to be playing out right now. It's manifesting right now. It's kind of like the bamboo tree. Oh, it's like the bamboo tree that the bamboo tree was planted and nothing happened for 5 years. And you know what happened, Mary, over the 5 years? Because a lot of people started with me and they planted in that same year that I planted in. But because they didn't see anything happen in 5 years, they quit. But I didn't. And then we made this major move where we got here and got super uncomfortable. And it caused me to then get even more uncomfortable by putting myself in situations here where I was extremely uncomfortable, like going to networking events. I don't want to do that. I ain't want to vend no more. Vend, like, why? I don't want to do that. And I went back to the basics, including all of the new stuff that I had learned. I incorporated all the new stuff with all the old stuff because I realized it's not one or the other, it was all of it. And I mean, here I am going to networking events, having to like talk myself because y'all don't believe that I'm an introvert. And I am telling y'all that I'm an introvert and I don't like going to networking events because I know if I go to these networking events, I got to talk. Here's what's so crazy. Y'all think that Paul is an introvert and that I am the extrovert, and it's the other way around. When we go to networking events, Paul is the one that's talking while I'm the one that's quieter. I'm quieter. He is the one that is going to talk to more people than me because I really am an introvert. Just because I will talk on the mic doesn't mean I'm not an introvert, which is why a lot of people will see me at conference and they'll see that I'm kind of quiet. And they expect for me to talk more. But I keep telling y'all I'm an introvert and y'all don't believe it. And then they'll be like, dang, Nina didn't even really talk to me much at conference because I'm an introvert. Mary, I showed everybody last week in Vegas. I really am an introvert. Hey, how y'all doing? Oh my God, I love all y'all. Then okay, I want to go sit in the corner somewhere. Because I am an introvert. I know people don't believe it though. They're like, ain't no way she's an introvert. No, I really am an introvert. And I went and sat in an area and I said, well, whoever come over here is fine because we'll talk in this area. But I'm an introvert. It's all right. It's all right. People gonna really get start to get it. Like, oh, she really. And now you're looking back at like, wow, she really is kind of like an introvert. She ain't say very much to me. I'm not being me. I literally am just really an introvert, and I really don't talk a lot. I just know when lights, camera, action. And then when I got to give myself permission to be a little bit more extroverted. But if y'all had caught me when I said, hey, y'all, I'm sitting there. See, let me tell y'all what happened. So that people get to know, people are going to start to understand me. There was one time, and Mary, you came, right, when I put it in the notes, in the thing, in the chat, and I said, hey, I'm going to be sitting down in the bar area. If anybody want to come down and hang out with me, come down now. Y'all remember when I did that? Because I knew at that moment that I was putting myself in a position where I had to be an extrovert for a specific amount of time. So it was planned in my mind. I gotta, Nina, you gotta go down here and you gotta talk. Okay, Nina, you gotta go down here and talk. And I planned it. So anybody that came down, y'all saw the life of the party, Nina. And then as soon as I walked away, I became who I really am, and that is an introvert. And now I'm certain it's kind of making sense to a lot of you now. Like y'all right. Nina really don't talk a lot when I don't. And let me give you another clue about Nina. If I have to speak, until I speak, I'm even more quiet. So if it takes a day and a half, so like if a conference is 2 days or 3 days and I don't speak to day three, you best believe you won't see the party, Nina, until after I got to speak. I'm trying to tell you because I'm so locked in and I'm so focused on what I got to do. Unless I get in a small environment, you won't see that in me. Think your way to wealth. I'm just trying to help people because sometimes when you understand a person's personality, you'll understand, oh, wow, now I get it. Right. So I had to speak on day two. So day one, I was a lot more quiet than normal. But on Thursday night, I gave myself permission to come out and play a little bit, met everybody over at the hotel, and I stayed there for a few hours. And I know it was late. Yep, it was. It was late for all of us. But I made sure that I went and spent time with everybody so that I could have that extroverted moment. And then I knew that the next day and a half until I had to speak, that I was going to be focused, super zoned in. Does that make sense? Y'all got to get to know people. Okay, so this says, yes, indeed. It's crucial for people to take an honest inventory of themselves so they can find and correct their faults of personality. From an early age, people should be taught that no amount of education will guarantee their success unless they learn to interact with others pleasantly. Now, here's the deal. I know how to interact pleasantly. Because I'm an introvert, I know when I come around people that I still got to be pleasant. Because if I'm not, people will think I'm not nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Y'all get that, right? So, and note that one's mental attitude directly connects with your level of flexibility. I am probably one of the most flexible people that I know. I pivot well. So, Napoleon Hill says, and that brings us to the third important factor of a pleasing personality, and it is sincerity. Write that down. So, flexibility, sincerity. All right. Number one was a positive mental attitude. Remember, there's 20. So, number one was a positive mental attitude. Number two is flexibility. And number three is what? Sincerity. which is a trait of character that reaches deeply into a person. Whether an individual is sincere or insincere reveals itself in their every word and action. It reveals itself. People know, you know what is funny? In my notes, let me hold on today. She said it. Anything after the word but is BS. If someone is talking to you, look, Mary Fitzgerald cracking up over there. Anything after the word but is BS. That's what our trainer told us today. Coco said if somebody says but, anything they say after the but is BS. Because they really don't want to say what's on their mind. So anything after they say but is BS. Ruh-roh. All right. So listen to this. Sincerity. In every culture, the yes man or woman is an object of derision because everyone easily recognizes their insincerity. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And honestly, y'all, don't nobody want somebody around them that agrees with everything. Just because you don't, I don't always agree with Stanisha. Now, here's the thing. Whether I agree or not doesn't mean I'm not going to run the play because I'm a team player. So I'm going to run the play. But if I don't agree, I don't agree. Like, I'm not just saying yes because she said blah, 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 blah. And she'll say, well, what did you think? What do you think? What do you think? And I'll say, well, because we have two different perspectives. I'm 53 with 4 children and 2 grandchildren. She's 39 or 30, what is it, 38, 30, one of those, 38 or 39, with no children, never been married. It makes a big difference in the way that we think and process information. So, no, we don't always agree. And when I don't agree, I voice my opinion. But it doesn't mean I'm not an effective team player because I still run the play. Does that make sense? But when I give my opinion, it helps her to see the thing a little bit broader because she's looking at it from the vantage point of a person who doesn't have a husband, doesn't have any children, doesn't have any grandchildren. She sees it a very different way than the way I see it. So now I offer another perspective. If I was just going to be a yes man, then it's only going to be seen from one vantage point. But see, I'm not afraid of sharing the way that I see it. Because it doesn't have to mean that I'm not being cooperative. It doesn't mean, it means that, hey, I hear what you're saying, but I have this other vantage point. What do you think about this? It also is the way that we give the information. Because I'm never being negative. I'm always just offering another vantage point. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? All right. So this says, I'll never forget the first time that I experienced definite opposition from Charles Schwab. He had been with me for only a short time when I called him into my office and asked him to make certain changes to his work. And after listening intently to every word I said, he responded good-naturedly by saying, "All right, Chief, you are the boss, but I'm going to tell you that your request is going to cost you money, going to cost you money because you haven't investigated this matter as closely as I have." His manner was so sincere that I researched his claim, only to discover that he was right and I was wrong. From that day on, I observed Charlie closely, quickly realizing that he had personality and character traits that made him invaluable to me. Now imagine this, Sheila Shaw. Imagine this, Tracy. What if Charles Schwab, in his wanting to kiss butt and just be a yes man, didn't share that? Look at how much money it would have cost Carnegie. But he said, now I've done the research. If you do that, by all means, you the boss, so we're going to do what you say. But if you do that, it's going to cost you more money. He did so Carnegie says, let me go look at this a little closely. Oh yeah, that's going to cost me some money. Then he realized how invaluable you need people to say, hey, but what if you did X, Y, and Z? Or what if you chose da, 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 da? Or what if we do it? You need people who are going to interject their thoughts and not just agree with you. The Data Boy Award. So Napoleon Hill says, well, will you now name the fourth factor of a pleasing personality? Carnegie says, it is promptness of decision. Oh my goodness. Lord, I know some toes is being torn up today. Promptness of decision. Look around you. Look around you, Carnegie says. Those individuals who frequently waver and struggle to make up their mind are neither popular nor successful. Uh-oh. Yikes. We live in a fast-paced world that demands decisiveness. If you cannot reach decisions definitely and quickly, you will be left behind. That's what the book says. You will be left behind. Yes, it is, Sheila Shaw. Indecisive is a deal breaker because people will look at you. And guess what will happen? And Sheila, you can validate this for me, or you can validate this for me. When you are indecisive and people know you're indecisive, they'll stop asking you. Because they know they know that they're gonna hear, oh, let me let you know. Let me think about that. Oh, okay. Note that promptness of decision is a habit. Write that down. Promptness of decision is a habit, and therefore it is directly related to one's mental attitude. This is deep. None of these traits of an attractive personality can be separated from one's mental attitude. Promptness of decision is also inextricably, sorry y'all, bound up by definiteness of purpose, because the clearer you are about the primary goal, the more quickly and definitively you will be able to render decisions. Oh my goodness. We live in a country where individual achievement is possible on a grand scale because of the abundance of opportunity that exists, but opportunity waits for no one. Opportunity waits for no one. And you know what? I was listening to Nehemiah teach. He said he talks about this all the time, about people that are not able to make decisions quickly. He said, how arrogant of a person for them to believe that you're holding the seat for them. How arrogant. No, if you can't say yay or nay right now, I'm going to the next person. He said it's arrogant of a person to believe that your opportunity or what you ask them will be available tomorrow. Like today, I was given a code that people could come to $1,000 event for free. I sent it out to people. I don't even care anymore. Whether you do or you don't, it's your decision to make the prompt action, because she said this will be gone. When it's gone, it's gone. And guess what? While we were on the Zoom, people were like, wait a minute, I can't get one. It's sold. It says it's sold out. She said, I told y'all to go. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see what we can do. Mary won $1,000 ticket. Either you in or you not. It was free. Alignment. I literally said, wait a minute, let me send this to some people that are here or close. And I sent it to one person that's 3 hours away. I said, can you get here? They said, I just registered. It's $1,000 ticket at a premier hotel in this city. One that just opened that everybody's trying to get to. Premier. Quick decisions. Got to make them quick. All right. So it says, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Hold on one second. Let me make sure. Opportunity waits for no one. Mr. Carnegie, we live in a country where achievement is all right. The person with vision to recognize opportunity and the promptness of decision to embrace it will get ahead, but no others will. Do y'all hear that? No others will. Like, what I like about this book is This book is saying either you're going to be all the way right or you're going to be all the way left. There is no gray area. This says the individual who recognizes the opportunity. Then it says the promptness of decisions embrace, it will get ahead, but no others will. This is the way of the world. It always makes a place for the people who know exactly what they want and they are determined to get it. Here's what I conclude, Mary. What I conclude is the people who are able to come to this event this weekend were looking for something. Sometimes we don't even know what the something is that we're looking for. But if you seek, you will find. And sometimes it's just being in the room. Being in the room. Being in the room. I am concluding that the people that were able to register, the people that answered quickly, guess what? They were looking for something. And because they were looking for something, they got the invite. Oh, come on. They were looking for something. So Mr. Carnegie says, someone has said that courtesy is the cheapest, yet the most profitable quality that an individual can have. Where do you rank this personality trait? Carnegie says, so courtesy is next. After what was our last one? I'm sorry. Courtesy is next after promptness of decision. Courtesy is actually the next factor to be discussed. It is not only cheap, it's free. You know, our grandparents used to say, even a dog deserves respect. I know my grandma, even a dog deserves respect. So courtesy, and it's free. All it costs is the time required to express it in one's interactions with others. Despite its cheapness, it is a quality so rare that it makes the individual expressing it immediately stand out from the crowd. How would you define courtesy? Carnegie says courtesy is the habit of respecting other people's feelings under all circumstances. Courtesy is the habit of going out of one's way to help less fortunate individuals whenever or wherever possible, and the habit of controlling selfishness in all of its forms. Courtesy is the secret to exerting one's influence to attract opportunities that would be otherwise unavailable. And after courtesy, what is the next essential element of a pleasing personality? The next two traits go hand in hand, and they would be tone of voice and the habit of smiling. So after courtesy, it's tone of voice and the habit of smiling. I don't even know what number we're on anymore, but let me see. What number are we on out of 20? It would be an attract positive mental attitude is 1, flexibility is 2, sincerity is 3, promptness of decision is 4, courtesy is 5, and then 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Thank you. Tone of voice and the habit of smiling. Humans express their personality the most through the spoken word, but the way one speaks communicates just as much, if not more, than what one says. Therefore, it's crucial to control your tone of voice so that it always expresses the exact meaning desired. The habit of smiling accompanies tone of voice because there are certain emotions that cannot be properly expressed through speech without smiling. Smiling also contributes to one's mental attitude, a fact proven by how quickly negative emotions dissipate when you force yourself to smile. Do these twin traits have other close relatives? Carnegie says yes. Facial expressions. So facial expressions is number 8. A quality that tells you a lot about one's character and one's thoughts. Taken together, the smile, tone of voice, and facial expression constitute an open window. Hold on, y'all. Let me make let the person in. An open window through which any individual can observe what takes place in the minds of other people. Woo-wee! You can see what's going on in a person's mind with the way their face looks. Oh my goodness. The intelligent individual knows how to control these 3 elements so that they express only what is intended. And Napoleon Hill says, I'm not sure what number we're on, but what is the next characteristic of an attractive personality? Well, we know it's number 9. We're up to number 9, and it is tactfulness. There's always a right time and a wrong time for everything. Tactfulness is the habit of doing and saying the right thing at the right time. Ask yourself the questions below to perform a checkup on your personality. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? 1, are you often careless in your tone of voice, speaking in a gruff, antagonistic manner that offends other people? Oh my goodness. You know what I've learned, Mary? I don't even respond in a text message until I'm able to respond without any because I know that if I do, it'll come out even in a text message. So I pause, I wait, and I'm gonna tell y'all, if you smile more, don't be like when I was at the table with my friends, and there was a group of men that came over to the table, and they said, "Well, we know who the mean one is." They knew who they claimed the mean one was based on her body language. So, are you often careless in your tone of voice, speaking in a gruff, antagonistic manner that offends other people? That used to be me because I used to be so direct that I didn't take into consideration how other people would feel. I just wanted to get it out of me. I just wanted to be direct, which is why now I pause. I pause. I pause, and then I'll say, okay, now, whoo, Jesus, whoo, now. All right, now I can respond because I don't want to sound like what I might be thinking. I got to pause. So sometimes, y'all, we got to be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sometimes you got to go 10, 9. You might have to go 100, 99, 98. Know your limitations. Number 2, do you speak out of turn? Talking when silence would be more appropriate. Oh my goodness. It's okay. Just say hallelujah. Just pull your toes back. Hallelujah. Pull your toes back. Do you interrupt others who are speaking? Oh my goodness. That's number 3. Gee whiz golly. So 1, are you careless with your tone? Speaking in a gruff, antagonistic manner that offends other people? Zanella said, I got to work on my face. Ooh, it's all right. We're a work in progress. We're a work in progress. Do you speak out of turn, talking when silence would be more appropriate? 3, do you interrupt others who are speaking? Oh my goodness. It's okay. Say hallelujah. 4, do you find yourself using I and me pronouns too frequently? I watch for that a lot. I. People that are always looking for some kind of, data boy award. No, when, I don't tell, we go and we give during Christmas, we go and buy a lot of the toys. You don't see me like, yeah, did you see the bikes we bought? Did you see the TVs did you see the this we bought? Did you see the that we bought? Did you see what we did? I. No, we don't do that. Because what is the point? If you gave, the intention was to give from your heart. You shouldn't be looking for a reward. Ruh-roh. You shouldn't need people to know what you did. Because if you do, then the intention was wrong. You were looking for a reward here on earth. Uh-oh. Do you overshare, disclosing personal details in a way that embarrasses other people? That was number 6. Do you overshare? 7, do you go to places to which you haven't been invited? Oh my good. Number 5 was I'm sorry. Number 5. Do you ask pertinent questions to make yourself feel and look important to others. So let me go back. Number 4 was, do you find yourself using I and me pronouns too quickly? Number 5, do you ask impertinent questions to make yourself feel and look important to others? Ruh-roh. Then number 6 was, do you overshare? Disclosing personal details in a way that embarrasses other people. 7 was, do you go to places where you haven't been invited? That was 7. So 5, do you ask impertinent questions that make yourself feel and look important to others? 6, do you overshare, making other people, embarrassing other people? 7, do you go to places that you haven't been invited? 8, do you dress inappropriately? A lot of times, especially when it comes to women, they dress very revealing because they're looking for attention. And we don't really realize you get the wrong kind of attention when you dress like that, right? So you dress inappropriately. Number 9, I didn't even think that that was a thing, right? That it was going to be on here. Number 10, do you call people at inconvenient hours? I do that. I do that. Boy, I will call you late. I sure will. I do that. Oh, Lord have mercy. I do that. Look, I got my finger up like I got to lead a sanctuary. You know how we lead a sanctuary with the finger up like this? Do you call people? Because I do call people late. Do you hold people on the phone with needless conversation? Number 11. Do you hold people on the phone with needless conversation? Maybe basically, are you rambling? Holding people on the phone, just rambling, right? Do you, number 12, do you reach out to people? Hold on one second. Do you reach out to people whom you have no reasonable excuse for addressing? Wow. Ruh-roh. Do you reach out to people whom you have no reasonable excuse for addressing? Oh my God, this is deep. Like, why are you even calling them? Why are you messaging them? Number 13, do you share opinions that are not requested, especially uninformed ones? Yikes. That was 13. Do you share opinions that are not requested, especially uninformed ones? Now that's bad. Not only are you going to share opinions, but then you're going to share opinions that are uninformed. Yikes. Number 14. Do you openly question the soundness of others' opinions? Do you openly question the soundness of others' opinions? You know what I find? Oftentimes, when other people are leading in other areas, and we don't always understand why they do that, why they say that, why they do that. And honestly, it's because we can't see from where their vantage point is. And then when it all plays out, right, we often look back and be like, oh, now I see why they did what they did. Or now I see why they said what they said. We can only see according to where our vantage point is. But if someone who has gone farther than us, that means that they can see from a different vantage point. And we got to stop questioning when other people have seen farther than us or at a higher vantage point than us. We need to stop questioning and trust the process. I don't know, why would they do it that way? Why they do it? Why they say that? Why? Well, why are we questioning the soundness of others' opinions when we don't have that vantage point? Do you decline the request of others in an arrogant manner? Oh my goodness. So basically, are you arrogant? Do you speak negatively of people in front of their friends? Yikes. Number 18. Do you 17. So 16 was, do you speak negatively of people in front of their friends? That was number 16. Number 17, do you disparage people who disagree with you? That was number 17. Do you disparage people who disagree with you? Number 18. Do you speak of people's physical afflictions in their presence? Number 18. Do you speak of, so all of these things have to do with tactfulness. We got a lot of studying to do about ourselves, right? Do you speak of people's physical afflictions in their presence? That's number 18. Number 19. Do you correct subordinates and associates in the presence of others? Do you correct people in the presence of others? That's number 19. Number 20, do you complain when people tell you no? When we realize that no is just all a part of the process, you stop thinking that no is a bad thing. Do we, complain when people tell us no? Number 21, are we overly presumptuous in asking friends for favors? '21 was, are you overly presumptuous in asking friends for favors? Number 22, do you use profane or offensive language? Tactfulness. That was 22, profane or offensive language. Number 23, do you express your dislikes too freely? Y'all ever meet people and you sometimes are like, dang, do you ever like anything? Like you always just never gonna like stuff, huh? Y'all know people that y'all know some people like that, right? Right? Do you express your dislikes too frequently? Too freely, rather. 23. 24. Do you harp on ills and misfortunes? Do you harp on it? Do you harp on ills and misfortunes? 24. We only got two more. We only got two more. Do you criticize our democracy or another's religion? Number 25. Do you criticize our democracy or another's religion? And then number 26, do you exhibit over familiarity with people? This was deep. So 25 was, do you criticize our democracy or another's religion? And number 26 is, do you exhibit over familiarity with people? Now, Carnegie says, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you suffer from a lack of tactfulness and would benefit from increased use of judgment in your interaction with others. Napoleon Hill says, given its association with promoting one's own interest above others, I can see how tactfulness would be related to one's mental attitude. What is the 10th element in a pleasing personality? Carnegie says the 10th trait is tolerance. Woo! Hey, woo-wee! Tolerance, which can be defined simply as open-mindedness. Tolerance is directly related to tactfulness, as it is narrowness of mind that makes people demean or disregard other individuals. Intolerance limits one's success for a number of reasons. It creates enemies. It limits mental growth by restricting the search for knowledge. It discourages imagination. It prohibits self-discipline. All of this is intolerance. It prevents accuracy in thinking and reasoning. And then intolerance damages our character. So let me go, I'm going to read those again. Intolerance limits one's success for a number of reasons, and there are 6 of them. It creates enemies, limits mental growth by restricting the search for knowledge. Intolerance limits mental growth by restricting the search for knowledge. Intolerance discourages imagination. Intolerance prohibits self-discipline. Intolerance prevents accuracy in thinking and reasoning. And intolerance damages character. So those are the first 10 essential elements of a desirable personality, which might be called the Big 10 of a positive personality. And now for the next set. What is number 11? First of all, if that is the first 10, Lord have mercy. Okay, we got some practicing to do. But the 11th characteristic of an attractive personality is frankness of manner and speech. Because deceit and the deliberate withholding of information from individuals who deserve to know the facts are forms of dishonesty that will poison one's character. People of sound character will always have the courage to speak and deal directly with people, even when doing so will not be advantageous to them. So that is a person, that's like a person who is afraid of confrontation. So they withhold having a conversation because they are afraid of confrontation. So frankness of manner and speech was 11. So then Napoleon Hill says, well, I'm sure, Mr. Carnegie, that everyone prefers to deal with people who are frank and honest. In the long run, people who think that they are deceiving others are only deceiving themselves. What is number 12 in the series of desirable personality traits? Number 12 from Mr. Carnegie is a keen sense of humor. A good sense of humor helps you weather the ups and downs of life. It enables you to embrace your humanity and to not take life so seriously and connect with others rather than remaining cold and distant. A good sense of humor provides physical benefits, keeping one's facial expression soft and promoting the habit of smiling, ultimately encouraging a positive mental attitude and serving as a tonic for the stresses of life. It is clear from this catalog that an attractive personality is an invaluable asset. Anyone studying this list will be able to address their deficiencies so that they can negotiate with life on more favorable terms. What is the next trait that is necessary for the development of an attractive personality? And I'm going to stop right there because it is 5:57. I can't even believe we've been here for an hour already, right? It is 5:57. We're going to start right here next week, and that should be number 13, I believe. This should be number 13 because we just read number 12, right? All right, so we're going to start right there. We're going to finish the last 7 traits. This is so good. We're going to finish the last 7 traits, and then let me look. I'm not sure if we going to finish. Oh, we might get through this. We might get through this, the rest of this chapter next week. It looks like we might get through it. All right, so I'm so glad we had this time. This is so good. I'm so glad we had this time together, everyone. And I am so glad that all of you were able to pivot because we had to come an hour earlier. So listen, if you missed anything from today's book club, because we did start an hour early, you can go over to YouTube because I did go live on YouTube and you'll be able to watch this on YouTube. You said, I just ordered the book. I know. This book is so good. Think Your Way to Wealth. So I didn't want us to miss this week. I didn't want us to get behind. If you missed book club because we started an hour early, don't be upset. It's okay. Just go over to my YouTube page and you will find today's book club over there on YouTube. So listen, let's make sure that we enjoy the rest of our evening, right? I am going to be on a mindset call at 6:30, not on this Zoom. If you want the Zoom ID for that, it's in my stories. All right. And I'm literally saying I'm doing a mindset call tonight at 6:30 p.m. But then you know that on this Zoom, the 678 number at 7:45, the Vision Mastery call will be live here tonight. All right. So listen, make sure that you are paying it forward. Do a good deed and be kind to one another, especially learning these invaluable traits that are going to help us become a better person and to be more fulfilled, as what Carnegie and Napoleon Hill are talking about, right? Pay it forward, do a good deed, be kind to one another, and be nice. Be nice. And always remember that God loves you. I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you